It's one of those times when you're confused whether to wish people good evening or good afternoon. So let me just go with, it's fantastic to have this audience. The talk that I'm going to give is on the time of your life, right? And I'm going to show a lot of big numbers just to start off with a math class. But don't get too worried because as you get into the fag end of the presentation, you'll also see a lot of pictures. So I'll compensate there. So my first number is 120 trillion. Any guesses what this could be? Any guesses? Okay, 120 trillion is the number of hours before which the universe was actually born. That's 13.75 billion years, right? And I'm going to show a next number which at least you should be able to guess. It's a third of 120 trillion. Any guesses? It's when the Earth was born, the magnificent planet that we are in. It's phenomenal that this is the number of zeros in terms of the number of hours before which the Earth was born. Let me jump from trillions to billions. This is 500 billion. What could be this? Any guesses? Okay, this is basically the age when dinosaurs, the Jurassic Park made famous, roamed Earth last. The next number, which is a smaller number, still in the billions, 1.75 billion. Any guesses what this could be? This is the human species, Homo sapiens. Remains of the Homo sapiens were discovered in Ethiopia, and we apparently go back just 200,000 years, which is 1.75 billion hours, right? Let me then get to the millions, 3.5 million. Any guesses what this could be? And I'll give you an interesting stat also on this. So 3.5 million years is basically when the Taj Mahal was built, 3.5 million hours ago, and that's one of the biggest exports of India. Fun fact, 400 years back, condoms were also invented. 700,000, any guesses? 700,000 hours, any guesses? Okay, that's our average human lifespan, which is for 80 years. And just to give you context, that is 0.175% of the age of the Earth. So as Naval Ravikant says, we are gone in the blink of a firefly. That's all that we matter to this Earth. My seventh number, 87,600. This should ring a bell. This is the foundation of all the math that I did before. So 8,760 is the number of hours in 1 year. So 87,600 is the number of hours in a decade. And for all of us, a new decade is approaching. And for all of us who are in the 30s and the 40s, we always say we are in the 30s and 40s or 20s, right? So it's always about counting which decade you are in life. And if you are in the 30s, maybe it's time to make commitments. If you are in the 40s, it's probably time to get some midlife crisis and talk about philosophy. 2,160. Any thoughts on what this number would be? Just two more numbers, 2,160. So 2,160 is the number of hours in 1 quarter. I think all of life today revolves around a quarter because everyone talks about results, quarterly plans. It doesn't matter whether you're studying, whether you're working, life is all about a particular quarter, right? The ninth number, last but one, 168. I think this you should be able to guess. Okay, this is the number of hours in a week. It does not matter whether you're just newborn or you're 60 years old, you're Bill Gates or you're a fresher in a college. It does not matter how much you earn. Every one of us in this room has this number of hours in a week, right? 168. Before I move on to the last number that I wanted to show, I'm going to show certain aspects of life and what typically those are, right? I'm going to start with 4 very important aspects of life that all of us should actually be going through, right? So first one, sleep, very important. Arianna Huffington talks a lot about the importance of sleep. And sleep for all of us, let's assume, unless you're Elon Musk or Bill Gates, is going to actually be somewhere around 48 hours, right? And I'm going to simplify math, 7 into 7 I know is 49, but 48 hours is what we all approximately spend time in a week on sleep. The next activity, okay, this is a very ferocious image of someone trying to get 6 packs, but it does not matter whether you have 6 packs or you're just going to do some walking around your apartment. All of us have at least 1 hour of every day, which is 7 hours a week, on some kind of physical activity. And there's enough research to say that some kind of physical activity is important for every human being, right? Whether that's to reduce cholesterol, reduce weight, it does not matter. This is a very Zen-like picture. Again, you know, there's a very fantastic book called Stillness is the Key by Ryan Holiday. And what that book talks about is some kind of stillness, whether that's meditation, whether that's writing, whether that's journaling, whether that's gratitude, whatever it is that's your version of stillness is important for every human being. And even if you don't do it today, I think it becomes important as you grow older. So that's again an hour a day. And the fourth activity, which I think all of us love here, I know it sort of makes this man look pretty, gross, but is eating and just everyday chores. And I'm going to sort of park an hour a day, right? So we have 4 activities that all of us, either by choice or by absolute must, we should do every week, every day. And the total sum of that we just did, that's 48 plus approximately 20 hours, that's 68 hours, right? So you have 168 hours that we started with, that's 68 hours deducted. Very simple math. From the 120 trillions, we have now gotten to a math which is extremely digestible. We have 100 hours left. So it does not matter who you are, what you do, it does not matter what your age is, where you are in your life. All of us have 100 hours in a week that we have full choice on, right? And these 100 hours is what we manipulate in different ways. And for me, 7 years back, we started Urban Ladder around exactly 15 days before our launch. I have also had my daughter, right? And unless I made some sense of how to allocate different aspects of my life, it would become extremely difficult because I would find it extremely guilty at work, guilty with my daughter. So that's the time when I started understanding that, hey, time is of essence and time is going to be extremely critical. So let's look at how these 100 hours will be typically spent. So I'm going to talk about some more time references. We all start with work, so let's look at work. And typically, whether you're at some kind of work, whether you're studying, it does not matter. You spend anywhere from 6 to 8 hours at work, right? And this includes meetings, this includes checking your email, all kinds of activities that form a typical work day. The next part of it, again, something which I think has become extremely important for at least the current generations is to constantly be learning and learning on the job, right? Because you're becoming outdated either because of automation or because there's just younger people who will come and do your job. So it does not matter whether you're 40, whether you're 50, whether you're a CEO, you still have to continuously learn. And continuous learning is going to be a big part of everyday life. This is a very nice image. This is the time, so from work I'm going to move to relationships. And as gentlemen before me said, relationships is a big part of how you're going to be living life. That has your spouse, your partner, and a minimum of, a relationship, if you're getting into a relationship, is anywhere from 1 to 2 hours. Otherwise, you probably should not be in that relationship every single day of your life. Some of us have kids, and if you have a kid, you better do justice to that kid. And maybe that's a couple of hours plus the weekend that you're going to be spending with the kid. And obviously, all of us want some fun with family, with friends. Maybe it's the weekend, you spend probably 4 to 5 hours every week, right? And so these are just the essentials of all of humanity, all of the people in the room. Social media, right? This is an absolute must. I don't think any of us here who's not on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever it is. And I'm going to put a very small number, and I'm going to actually surprise you with some fact later on. 1 to 2 hours of social media every day is sort of the norm. So that sort of translates to 5 to 10 hours per week. The next part of, Netflix, I'm not talking about Netflix and chill, just Netflix, which is binge watching Netflix or a movie, and you're going to basically spend at least 5 to 10 hours per week. Maybe it's not Netflix for you, maybe it's some level of a sport, maybe it's EPL, maybe it's IPL, maybe it's your favorite team, that's Liverpool, that's playing, right? So maybe that's what you're into, but again, it's the same. You're going to spend anywhere from 5 to 10 hours a week just on that, right? Last but not the least, I think, if I ask anyone in this room as to what they would be doing if they were not working or if they didn't have to actually make money, the number one answer, and I have done this research, the number one answer everyone says is, I would be traveling the world, right? And let's park, let's say maybe 3 to 4 weeks every year on travel, because it seems at least this generation does not want to park travel for after retirement. We want to travel as we are working, right? So that's 3 to 4 weeks per year. So if you look at all of these activities, and before I come to actually what all this sums up from those 100 hours, I want to show you 3 statistics which are extremely interesting. The first one is a research on the number of hours that all of us are actually using the mobile phone. Any guesses? In a week, in a day, how many hours we are actually on our mobile phone? So the average is actually 5 hours a day, not the 1 to 2 hours. And maybe some of it is work, but 5 hours a day, which, there's the sources from Guardian in the UK. Millennials actually spend a lot more time. So if you're spending more time, maybe even if you're older, you can think you're a millennial. Uh, the second statistic is the amount of time we actually spend in meetings, right? Again, a very surprising stat. 35 to 50% of time, depending on, and if you're apparently more senior, you spend more time in meetings. So based on the amount of time you're in meetings, you can also judge seniority in the organization, is actually spent in meetings, and that's at least 20 hours every week. The last one, which is which is actually a very foundational metric that you will actually be very surprised. 90% of the time that you actually spend with your parents is actually done by the time you leave high school, right? And you actually would be surprised that only 10%, and that keeps reducing every year of your life. And a lot of people don't prioritize this time actually. So if you put all of this into perspective in the 168 hours, you actually get this math. So maybe around 40 to 60 hours. So I have these 4 broad classifications. All of us in life have these 4 broad classifications. 68 hours probably is taken in self. Even if you don't do that today, it probably is important. Anywhere from 40 to 60 hours is taken at work, which is what I call service. There's at least 10 to 30 hours based on what aspect, what life stage you are in is going to be taken up by relationships. And maybe 10 to 15 hours in fun, right? And let's say how you allocate this time, right? Everyone wants this, these 100 hours. The ideal view of this 100 hours in balance is maybe 50 hours on work and 50 hours on fun and relationships, right? Everyone wants this balanced view to life. But in reality, that does not happen because people usually have some kind of an anchor around work. We spend anywhere around 60 hours at work and maybe 40 hours. If you are going to be starting up, if you have a product launch, if you have something that's very important at work, you're going to be spending far more time at work, right? That's 70 hours per week at work and just 30 hours for your family and friends and any kind of fun activity. Maybe you're at a life stage where you just had a kid. Maybe you're at a life stage where you're just fallen in love. You want to spend more time with your, beloved ones. And maybe the, chart is this way. Last but not least, maybe you're traveling, maybe you're on vacation. So you're going to be, and everyone here probably wants this as their ideal everyday life or every week life, but that's never in reality unless you've retired, right? But it does not matter which part. The idea here is all of these are fine, right? There is no one answer. The answer is what you decide out of this. The answer is which phase of life you are in and what you decide out of what is important for you. So for example, if you say you want balance, but you are actually living this kind of a life, right? You're not doing justice. You are going to be feeling extremely crappy at the end of it because what you think you're spending time versus where you're actually spending time is not really in sync, right? So there are 2 points here. One is how well are you able to understand and realize which aspect of life you want to give more importance to. And 2, if you are able to communicate to the people involved. You think you're doing justice at home, but hey, you're actually spending all of your time at work. Or you have a product launch that's coming, but you are doing your own Netflix and you're not doing justice there. So someone needs to be communicated as to what your focus is. And that communication leads to a lot of clarity in your head as well as for all the different stakeholders that are concerned. So if I have to leave with, one important number for all of you that you're going to be looking at in the coming decade, it's 100 hours. It's 100 hours, how you spend those 100 hours every week. And I can give you a few hat tips there. One, on a Sunday, every Sunday, you get some free time to assess how the next 100 hours are going to be, right? And I do this pretty diligently. The next Sunday, you look at how the 100 hours have actually passed, right? There are going to be some weeks where you're going to be feeling absolutely crappy with yourself because you're not able to live up to the promise of what you put. The other thing is slot all personal time. Don't just slot meeting times. Slot all personal time into a calendar. Color code it so when you look at a calendar, it does not look boring. Because that's important because when you look at a calendar, you want it to be a piece that you want to keep looking at every day. You don't want it to be looking at just for work. And very importantly, also multitask, right? In Bangalore, a very important time for you will be traffic time. But don't call it traffic time because that's painful. Call it podcast time. Call it book time. Make it a lot more interesting. Last but not the least, as long as there are deviations, a lot more effective communication on those deviations goes a long way in making sure you have a great work, you have a great life. One last number I want to leave with, this 100 is funnily enough also the number of 15-minute slots approximately that you have every day. Thank you for spending one of those 100 15-minute slots with me today. And it was a pleasure talking here. Thank you.